All right, good afternoon, Realty Pros, and welcome back. As we said, today we're going to we're going to finish up on our contract so that we can get through that. But I just wanted to reiterate what we talked about on our last training, as we're really going to start with a very heavy listing focus. So stay tuned to the next several weeks because we're going to be going through all things listings. We've been talking about how crazy this COVID climate is and how buyers have just been in the market left and right. Well, sellers are very much getting wind of that. And just even within our sphere of influence alone, we have so many people that are calling us that are ready to sell their houses now and that will be ready within the next couple of months. So we really want you to dive into that low-hanging fruit, your sphere of influence, everybody that you know in your cell phone, everybody that you have in constant contact. If you haven't put them into constant contact as of yet, we need for each person that's on this line and everybody that listens to this recording, send a text message to everybody in your sphere of influence, get their updated contact information, so their email address, their home address, because you need to be marketing to these people. On a daily basis, you want to reach out to 10 people within your sphere of influence. And as you're prospecting for business on a daily basis, you should be adding more people to your book of business, because this real estate market is on fire, like we've been saying for so many months. And now everybody can see firsthand what that looks like in the seller's market. So sellers are also getting wind of that, and they are about to come out of the woodwork, and we can just see those trickles now and see it starting to pick up. So we want to be ahead of the cusp and not wait until the spring market to start marketing for listings, but to start doing so right now, because there's several different types of listing strategies, and there's several different types of listings that are right at our fingertips now. First and foremost, it's with our sphere of influence, the people that already like, trust, and believe you. They know, like, and trust you, so you need to be reaching out to them. You need to be providing value by adding insight into what this market is looking like. People love hearing about the real estate market. People watch HGTV all the time because they want to be informed. They want to know what the market is doing. They want to know what their property is worth. So you want to be reaching out to those people and adding value to them by giving them information on the real estate market. Because if they're homeowners, that's information that's a direct benefit to them. So if you have listings currently, that's great. If you don't have listings, there's so many opportunities. There are an abundance of opportunities out there for listings. If you want to talk about just marketing opportunities to get listings, you can send out postcards with just solds in the area. It doesn't even have to be your listing to market a just sold. All properties that are sold, you can market. You can send out a postcard with the 3 just sold properties in your farm area. You can keep doing so and offer on that postcard for people to reach out to you to get a comparative market analysis. You can also, for your past clients, reach out to them and send them an updated comparative market analysis. Each one of us knows how to do that on HomeSnap. You do that comparative market analysis on HomeSnap, it literally takes you less than 2 minutes. So if you did that for 10 people a day, that's 20 minutes that you've taken to do a CMA for people. Send it out to them. When people see what this market is doing, you will start getting calls for listings, listing appointments. You'll get more listings in your inventory. But we definitely need to start focusing heavily on securing those listings. And once you do secure those listings, take advantage of every opportunity to market this to get more listings. All you need is one listing to start your business, to really kickstart your real estate business. That's marketing that listing as just listed, open houses, your social media platforms, your mailers, your email marketing, your blasts to people that you know. All of those things will generate more opportunities for you to have listings. Those things also show your sphere of influence, how productive you are as an agent. So there shouldn't be anything that's more important business-wise than you generating more business. Mr. Porter talked about a pipeline yesterday when he was talking about how when he got into real estate, he did so because he looked at checks, from settlements that I had, and I was talking to him about pipeline. That's the same thing that we want to instill in you guys. It's all about your pipeline. You may have a settlement today. You may have 5 settlements next month. Whatever that looks like, those settlements will be based on what you're doing when you don't have any closings, when you don't have any clients, when you don't have any showings. What are you doing in that moment? because what you're doing in those moments is really going to determine what your winter is going to look like. And we know, even in terms of biblical principles, when it's the fall time, when it's harvest time, this is when we're supposed to store up. This is when we're supposed to hit the ground hard. This is when we're supposed to secure our pipelines so that when it gets cold, and if there's snow or a blizzard, God forbid, and we're not able to get out there and beat the ground in the same way, you have some things stored up because you've already been harvesting. You've already been picking up that low-hanging fruit. You've already been reaching out to your sphere of influence. I'll piggyback on something Mr. Porter said. There's no such thing as being shy when it comes to people you know. I think that some of us think that if we reach out to our family, friends, colleagues, church members, former employers, employees, and whatever the case is, that they might see it, in some type of, a different light. But I'm here to tell you that when you reach out to people about real estate, they are intrigued, because at any given point, they either need to buy, need to sell, need to invest, want to become an agent, or know somebody that does, or may need a lease, or might even need some information for next month or next year. So the mere fact that you think about them and you call them, you have a conversation and you offer them your help and you let them know, hey, whenever you need help in real estate, give me a call. I can help you. That's something that will resound with them. But there shouldn't be a single person that knows you and that does not know that you can help them in real estate. Like Mr. Porter said, if they run, chase them down. So you definitely want to be aggressive in this market, because there's so many different people that are trying to market to them. The person who is the most aggressive in that marketing and is diligent, despite the amount of times that they have to reach out, despite the amount of times that they have to groom and nurture that lead, that is the person at the end of the day that is going to get that sale. So the question is that person going to be you? And your answer today needs to be, that is going to be me. No matter what that looks like, you need to be the determined person. You need to say failure is not an option. Real estate is a career that I've chosen, whether it's full-time or whether it's dual career. This is a career that I've chosen. You invest money in your business, you invest in yourself, and you do what you need to do in order to be successful in real estate. Things in real estate don't necessarily just fall out of the sky. Just like Mr. Porter said yesterday, everything that we've done, we've had to work sometimes tirelessly. Sometimes we've had to work even when transactions have fallen through. We've had to get up and pick ourselves up when there were disappointments, and you guys need to do the same thing as it pertains to marketing for your book of business, to build that book of business, prospecting for leads and doing those things on a daily basis. You've got to get into your mind that on a daily basis, aside from your family and your livelihood, at home, there's nothing else that's going to stand in the way of you generating business, you marketing for leads, you prospecting for leads, because that's how you build your pipeline. When each and every last one of us got into real estate, we got into real estate for a reason. For many of us, it was financial freedom. For many of us as well, it was our family. For many of us, it was legacy wealth. For many of us, it was generational wealth. For many of us, it was being able to control our own time and to set our own destinies and, determine what tables we're going to sit at. I heard somebody say that last week or the week before last in one of our new agent trainings, and I really liked the way that you said that. Determine what table you're going to sit at and who you're going to invite to your table. Real estate gives you an opportunity to do all of those things. But I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me clearly today, because it's not going to fall out of the sky and just happen. You have to make it happen. And what that looks like is, in the moments when you're not doing anything, what are you doing to work on your business? What are you doing to grow that book of business? What are you doing to build that pipeline? When nobody is there and nobody can see you, what are you doing to invest in yourself? Because we've talked a lot about our whys and we've talked about what our goals and our dreams are, but those things don't just happen. You have got to make those things happen. And the way that you make them happen is working on them a little bit day by day. So again, whether you're full-time or whether you're dual career, there is time for you to build your book of business in real estate, because if you really hold true to what your why was, and if it is as important as you said it was, and I do believe it is, then it's worth it. It's worth the time that you need to invest in order to build your pipeline, in order to be consistent in the face of what seems to be sometimes insurmountable odds, whether that insurmountable odd be Redfin or competition from other agents, whatever that looks like. When you are diligent, when you are focused, you have no other choice but to reap the benefits of success. When you are diligent despite the obstacles and you determine that failure is not an option, it doesn't matter what mishaps you have, what setbacks you have, because you keep moving forward. The only way to fail is to quit, and quitting is, we don't even know what that looks like. We don't believe in that. Failure is not an option. So you want to do what it is that you have to do, seek out the information that you need. If you need help, you have resources here at Porterhouse. You have Mr. Porter, you have myself, you have an amazing group of Realty pros and Porterhouse family members that are knowledgeable and equipped to help you as well. Reach out to each other. Every person here should have an accountability partner. Every person here, you guys should have each other's telephone numbers, each other's email addresses. Like Mr. Porter talked about, one of the things that we used to do at our former brokerage, myself, Mr. Porter, and about 3 other agents at a brokerage that had over 350 people, we used to come together on a regular basis, and we used to do mastermind meetings. We used to do mindset training. We used to do things to strategize, to make sure that our mindset was in a way that was fruitful and that was focused on an abundance and not with a scarce supply mentality. So I say the same thing to each one of you on this call today, and each one that will listen to us hereafter. You have to have a mindset that determines that my only option is to win, because failure is not an option to me. So no matter what you have to do in terms of being diligent, being consistent, being focused, being driven, and in those times when there's nothing else around, nobody else around to, to talk to, you're sharpening your skills. You're reading up on your script. You're going through your presentations. You're internalizing that conversation so that you can dialogue as it pertains to your listings, as it pertains to your buyers and all of the other seller types and things that you need to be, knowledgeable about as a realtor. So you want to take the time to invest that in yourself, and you want to take the time to reach out on a daily basis to people because we told you guys before, we said it back in March and back in April when we told you how aggressive this seller's market has been, with these buyers out here offering at a minimum $20,000 over list price and not even asking for closing costs. And now we can all see exactly what that has led to. Mr. Porter shared with everybody a text message on WhatsApp, or actually it was a screenshot of an MLS printout. And this is something that a person actually put on the MLS. Sellers are being able to write their own ticket in this market. So we are going to be on the forefront of this. I want to instill that into every last one of us. You're not going to be at the tail end of this wave, this hot real estate market. You need to be on the forefront of it. So that means that you got to be diligent. That means that whatever lazy bone is in your body, you need to kick it to the side because it's not working for you, and it won't work for your why, the reason that you got into real estate anyway. So put whatever lazy bone to the side, whatever fear bone, discouragement, whatever it is that would stop you from moving forward and prospecting and investing into your real estate business on a daily basis. Time out for it. It's time to put it to the side, and it's time to do what you got into this business to do. Okay? Real estate offers so many opportunities. There is no glass ceiling in real estate. You can literally make as much money in real estate as you are willing to work. As diligent as you're willing to be, that's what your career is going to look like. So I just implore every last one of us today to take a look at your real estate business and say, where do I want to be in the future? Where do I want to be when December gets here? Where do I want to be when next spring gets here? Where do I want to be for 2021? What do I want that to look like? Because wherever you're starting, this is just your starting point, but opportunities are endless, and we are in a hot real estate market. So I really want to encourage all of us to take advantage of it, not make excuses, reach out to each other, help each other as we've always done. So I just want to applaud all of us that are on this call, because just like a family, you guys know Mr. Porter and I, our heart We're open books. We'll help you with everything. And that's the type of culture that we have at Porterhouse. And you've all exemplified that. So I just want to say kudos to each one of you for that and continue to do so. Reach out for opportunities to partner with your fellow agents. Mr. Porter, did you have something you wanted to add? Mr. Porter?
I think you're rolling. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys, I'm sorry. Car, I'm on the Zoom, I'm in the car, the sheriff is passing me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, so we're busy today. I'm rocking and rolling. And Jasmine's talking about listings. And again, people are calling us now to list properties that had previously said that they wanted to wait and they would think about it, but the market is really hot. So we want you to shift gears and get into this listing market. That being said, guys, Jasmine is giving you a lot of encouragement. But what I wanted to do, Jasmine, if you didn't mind, just to add a couple of practical things that we do and we have always done that kind of jumpstart your business. If you have not already set up an area in your home that is just for real estate, for you to focus on your real estate business. I mean, you have a calendar there and you need to go out and purchase the stuff. We do a quarterly calendar where we put all of our business tasks on that calendar for the quarter so we can see the next 4 months right every time we go into the office. You want to make sure you have your office set up. You want it to be away from the distractions of life.
All right, you're
It's
going
very
in and out.
difficult to work. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, well, Jasmine.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm probably going to go in and out. What I wanted you to kind of share with them is, the focus, like the office, setting up their office space, making sure that they have a calendar that gets them up in the morning and gets them marketing, gets them making phone calls, gets them, setting up that calendar, that the calendar just sends you a reminder to do something in real estate, that kind of thing. I wanted you to talk about how that when we were just a home-based business. And
I got you. Your reception is going way out.
Calendar, have a schedule, have your office. Yeah. There you go. So, go ahead.
Okay. So what Mr. Porter is saying is there are practical things that you want to add to your day-to-day routine that'll help you in this area. And like Mr. Porter said, you need to set up a home office space. So whether that's the breakfast counter, whether that's the corner in the kitchen, whether that's the corner in the bedroom, the basement, wherever that is, that needs to be a space that is dedicated to real estate and real estate alone. And that space needs to be conducive to you being productive in real estate. Having such things as a calendar, like he said, we set our calendar. It's a quarterly calendar. You want to plan your vacations on that calendar. You want to plan your non-negotiable time on that calendar. Then you want to be able to see clearly so that you can see days and times when you do not have other commitments. And that's the time that you want to look at committing to real estate. Because as we know, we live in a world where there's seed time and harvest. Your seed is the time that you're going to put into this business, your effort that you're going to put into this business when you're in your home office, when you're out in the field, when you're marketing and prospecting. That's your seed. So those are the things that you want to do on a daily basis. In addition to that type of calendar in your office, each of us have smartphones. You want to set your smartphone with reminders. You want to go to your calendar. Each of us have Google calendars because we all have Gmail accounts with our Porterhouse Realty Pros. You go in there and on a daily basis, just set a schedule. You may have a schedule that alternates week to week because if you have kids that are doing distance learning, you make a schedule around that. Like I said, carve out your non-negotiable time and everything around that you need to put on there so that you have time to market. You have time to reach out to your sphere of influence. You have time to practice your scripts. You have time to actually call people that are leads from now, leads from the past. So if you're grooming them, if you're nurturing them, if you're following up with them for the first time, you need to have time on your calendar for you to schedule appointments. So your appointments, like your showings and your listings presentations, You should have a set time on your calendar so that you know when people call and they want one of those appointment types, you know exactly which days of the week and you know exactly which window that's going to fall into because you've already selected that in your calendar. Okay? You need to have a time that you're working on your real estate business, meaning growing the business, meaning what can I do to step back and say, how can I be more productive in this business? What systems do I need to put in place? The technology that I have, how can I use that technology? If there's any other technology, how do I implement that technology into my real estate business? So you're working on your business, and then you need to have time to work in your business. Working in your business is the time when you're out doing showings, you're doing property tours with clients, the time when you're at settlement, the time when you're writing offers. That's the working in your business piece. So I'll give you guys just an example of Mr. Porter and I, what our calendar looked like when we were realtors. So at 9 a.m., we had, let's see here. So I'm going to actually go a little bit before that. So Mr. Porter's calendar starts at 9 a.m., but one of the things that is cut off on here, every day we made a declaration. Every day we stated that I am a six-figure agent. And that's what was said back then. So as a six-figure agent, that's what your goal should be. At a minimum, you want to be a six-figure agent. Now, that changes for Mr. Porter and I now, but for you guys, we want for your aspirations to be, as Mr. Porter would talk about, those big, scary or big, hairy, scary goals. If you want to look at a business plan for a $300,000 income, we have business plans like that for you guys, and those things are attainable. So you start out your day with your declarations or your affirmations, as we call them. Then you want to recite. So whatever those listing scripts are and other scripts, you want to go and you want to recite those. At 10 a.m., we started marketing. So we started actually returning phone calls and emails. At 10:30 a.m., we started reaching out to sellers. At 11 a.m., we started scheduling appointments and following up with buyers. At noon every day, from noon until 2 p.m., we had a prospecting lunch. So that was from 12 o'clock every single day. We got to eat lunch. So instead of us just taking an opportunity to sit down and eat by ourselves, we were purposeful to go out to a place where people are going to congregate and where people, you know, have expendable income. So we went to a Starbucks. We went to a Panera Bread. We went to a place that, you know, people are going to be there. So you can simply have conversations with people. And when we were there, we had a goal. Our goal was to touch 10 people before we left. And by touch 10 people, it's have a conversation with 10 people and give out 10 business cards. So there's several ways that we were able to accomplish that. One was to just walk up to people and, you know, greet them, give them a compliment, hand them a business card. A lot of times we would stand in line and we would just pay for things for people in line. We would go to Wegmans. In Wegmans, there's a great place, a cafe that's over there, which is always busy in Wegmans, right over in the Woodmore Town Center. So whatever places those are that are by you, you want to be very purposeful to have a prospecting lunch. We all need to eat. But as your goal as a realtor is to prospect every single day so that you can get closer and closer towards your goal, you've got to be where people are. So people are going to be in places around lunchtime. You don't even have to think about that. So you just need to go to where they are. You need to make your presence known at those places. When you meet people, greet them, smile, you know, be nice to people, give them a compliment, let them know, hey, if you ever need help in real estate, give me a call. And you just give them your name, give them a card, and keep moving. So one of the things we used to do as well, we had Realtor, if you have questions about real estate, we had that on the back of our laptop. And we would just sit at the same place, and we had it there. And people would literally come up and ask questions about real estate. So these are ways to get to add prospecting to your day-to-day schedule because everybody has to eat. So there's no need in you eating alone when you can go out to a place where other people are going to be. All right, so that's the prospecting lunch. So then after that, we had showings and consultations. We set aside time every single day so that we could have showings and consultations. And that also included, that included both buyer consultations and listing consultations. Then after that, we had time to follow up with our sphere of influence. and practice our scripts. And after that, Shay and I would debrief about the day. So that's something that you want to do. Take time to go back and look over conversations that you've had with people and see what your next follow-up needs to be. See if that's a person that is what I would say a hot lead, meaning somebody that's ready to go now. This person wants to buy in the next 30 days, or if that's somebody that you got to nurture a little bit more, somebody that you might have to work on for a few months. We have people that are coming out of the woodworks now that we've been working on since January. Actually, somebody we've been working on since last year, another person we've been working on since January, another person coming back around, we listed with them over a year ago and they didn't, they weren't serious about the sales process then, but they're serious now. So there's various levels of clients that you're going to have, and you need to determine where people are kind of on that spectrum so you know what type of time you need to invest with them on the here and now. All of them you need to invest time and energy into, but you need to determine whether if it's the person that's going to be buying in the next 30 days, you need to be calling them on a daily basis or every other day. The early bird's going to catch the worm with that person. But if it's a person that's going to be buying in the next year or so,
Hello?
Not hearing anything.
Hello?
I think, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we
I
can hear
think we
you.
lost Jasmine somehow.
I'm still here. I can hear you guys. I'm not sure what happened with my audio. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Thanks for letting me know. You know how the internet audio is sometimes it, does things that we can't control. So thank you so much for letting me know. Did anybody have any questions about anything that I was sharing on the practical side? I see somebody has their hand raised. 301-512-8946. Go ahead and ask your question. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Okay. Sorry. I thought I was being heard. I just wanted to say that was really good information. I really appreciated. Well, the information about setting up your office is always appreciated, and the reminder to have things in front of you that you can see all the time. And I also appreciate the fact that you all have the goal setting things so that if we know that we want to achieve a certain amount of money, 150,000, 300,000, whatever it is, that there is a plan that we can set in motion to make that happen. And I really appreciated hearing your calendar because I was asking about that earlier. I thought that my calendar was set up well, but I think the detail that you have in yours makes me think about how I really need to set things up so that I can get things done. And I'm thinking about that in relationship to time blocking, how that would work for me. So yeah, just really appreciated the comments that were made as far as the practicality is concerned. And I'll stop there.
You got it. Did someone else have a question? Okay, great. Then we'll continue. Now, for some reason, my cell phone kind of went out, so I'm using the internet audio over the computer. Give me just a second because I don't want it to become choppy. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. All right. So your schedule, give me one quick second.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So back to the practical piece. For all of us, like we said, there's time that's going to be your non-negotiable time. So it's most important for you to plot that non-negotiable time out on your calendar before you even start to focus on real estate. That's going to be the time that you need allotted for vacation. That's going to be the time that you need to have allotted for your family, for your husbands, wives, kids, whoever it is that you have. It could be church time. It's time for something that you've already dedicated to and you've made a commitment to in advance. That's the first thing that you want to block off on your calendar and on your schedule, okay? That will free up your mind and help you to be able to focus in areas of real estate when you're not doing something on that time, okay? So that's a practical piece. You want to put that into place first and then kind of backtrack and look at the days and times where you don't have those commitments. And it helps your mind to kind of free up mental space because then you're not worried about what it is that you have to do for your families or your personal life, so that you're not taking time away from your family to do what it is that you need to do in real estate, okay? So the next thing as it pertains to your calendar, you wanna make sure that you are absolutely time blocking time to sharpen your skills as a realtor. If you have not done a listing as of yet, no problem, because we have so many different resources for you in order for you to learn what the listing presentation looks like. If you simply read through that listing presentation that each one of us has, it'll give you all of the language that you need to carry a listing consultation with confidence, because every single thing that you need to do or say is in that presentation. So instead of waiting until you get on the listing before you start going through that, go through that, practice, role play, you know, do it in the mirror, record yourself going through it. And that'll be good for you to hear yourself so that when you start to, you know, stumble over a word, you start over and you just keep going. But you want to get those jitters out. So work on sharpening your skills and know that no differently than a basketball player or any other person who's reached the height of their career, they didn't do so without practicing in off season. So this right here, the time that we're in real estate, this time is a hot market, but I promise you, if you want for this next season to be great for you, this is when you've got to start doing everything that you need to do. So practically set your schedules for time that you are working in your business and time that you are working on your business, okay? Another practical another practical piece for your office space is whatever space you decide to use as your home office space, that space needs to be consecrated, like I said, so there's nothing else there but real estate. But also it needs to be a space where your mind can actually focus. And one of the things that your mind needs to be able to focus well is a clutter-free space. So that space needs to be neat. That space needs to be clean. It needs to be clear. You don't need to be able to see if you have a room that you say, oh, well, I'll get around to that room at some point. That room needs to be decluttered. You know, that is not the room to use for your home office unless you're willing to commit to decluttering it. Okay? We've talked about that before. Your brain needs mental space. And when you have clutter and all of those things, they tend to take up that space, so you're not able to focus as clearly. You're not able to concentrate as well. So make sure that for that home office space, it's a space that's not cluttered. It's a space that is conducive for you to be able to focus on real estate, okay? And then next, you just want to reach out and you want to hold yourself accountable and have an accountability partner. So Mr. Porter and I, we are accountability partners for each and every last person in Porterhouse. But in addition to Mr. Porter and I, we want for each one of you to have an accountability partner as well. Because in the time when you've set this schedule and Mr. Porter sent the schedule out on WhatsApp since we've been on this call, during the times when you're working to hold yourself accountable to this schedule, you want to make sure that you have somebody else that you reach out to as well, okay? You want to make sure that you have a printer. You want to make sure that you have a scanner in your office space. They normally sell them in Costco for a very good deal. So make sure that whatever it is that you need in order to operate your real estate business, you have it, okay? We're talking about accountability partners as well. So you want to work in pairs. You want to partner up with people. You want to call somebody if you know that the two of you are either you live close to each other or you don't. It really doesn't matter because we've done so many things virtually. You can Zoom call, telephone call, meet someplace, have the same area that you want to market on. Whatever the case is, partner up and go out together. I heard a couple of our Realty pros, I want to say it was Matthew and Kermon saying that they're going out door knocking together. I know that Anissa D and Miss Pat, they go out together and they're working together. So we need for every single person in Porterhouse, you want to partner to have an accountability partner as well as someone to help to keep you motivated. Kermon, I want you to share with us what your experience has been and what you and Matthew have been doing, if you'll unmute yourself.
Okay, great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you, Ms. Porter, because, you know, you and Mr. Porter really are the ones that put this idea in our head and helped us formulate the right pathway to do this. We didn't want to just go out all willy-nilly and just start doing things. So we wanted to have a system. And what we did was we invested in our business. We purchased some leads and some postcards. And along with the postcards and sending out the postcards as a follow-up, we also invested in some door knockers, door hangers. So what we did was we targeted our farming area. We went out together. We split it kind of down the middle. Matthew went to one area, I went to another area. And what we did was we not only did we hang the door knockers, but anyone that we saw that might be out in the yard, you know, mowing the grass or just walking back and forth, we stopped them and we told them that we were in the area. We wanted to let people know that we are in the area. We had our shirts on, that had our information. We had our badges on, so we looked very legitimate. And we just told people what we were doing and that we were offering people a free comparative market analysis of their value of their home in this market. And so by doing that and by putting the door hangers on the doors, and we're just going back and forth to every house, we're putting door hangers on, we're talking to people, we're getting people's information. And it was very, very good. It was, people were very open. They were just very, as I said, they were just very open to what we were doing. So it worked out very, very well. So after we had designated that area, we went to another area, and you know, we got our exercise in, we got our walking in, and we just kept doing it, and we're still doing it. And what we said was we were going to do it until we ran out of door hangers. And we had a lot of door hangers, and we got a lot of business cards. So we're just making sure that we're talking to a lot of people. One of the things that Mrs. Porter said, it's that it's not the market, it's the marketing. So we're taking that as our mantra, and we're just going forward.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kermon. That is excellent. And that's exactly what we want for every single one of our Realty pros. You guys are planting. So we know we talk about seed time and harvest. Every one of those business cards and every one of those door hangers that you put out, you've planted a seed there. So you want to continue to plant as many seeds as possible because you never know which one is going to grow. So you continue to plant seeds day by day. So kudos to you guys for that. All right. Now, let me ask, what you said that you've gotten some feedback. Did you expect anything different? Did you get the response that you expected? That's my question.
Are you asking me, Ms. Porter?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My
Yeah,
apologies. Kermon, did you guys get the response that you expected?
well, we did, and the thing that was so amazing about this first area that we're doing, and of course, the first one you're doing, you're trying to get all the bugs out, and you're getting your feet wet, and we probably didn't say some of the right things we should have because we're learning as we go, and but one of the things that we realized is that even people who are not in the market themselves to either sell or upgrade or downsize or what have you, they know people. And so what we were trying to do now, once we realized that, was to really have a script to talk to people about who do you know? Because a lot of people, they have kids, they have grandkids, they have relatives, they have friends who are really interested in doing something in this market. So we got great feedback on that. The other thing that I think was really good was I was a little bit concerned that in this environment, this COVID-19 environment, that people would be a little bit standoffish, just in, you just coming anywhere near them. And that was a concern that was in my head, but that was not the reality. People still let you come up. They still talk. Of course, we wear our masks, but we stay 6 feet apart. But people would let you hand them a card. They would let you give them information. They were very friendly. They were very kind. We approach people. We try to approach people in a very respectful manner. So we didn't just run up on folks. So it wasn't the challenge that I think I had made up in my mind. The reality was that we were able to do it, and it was very, very easy.
That is awesome. That is so good to hear. Does anybody have any questions about that?
No, but that is really very good to hear. Again, I was just like, oh, really? That's nice, because I expected something different. So I'm glad to hear that went well and that nobody was running from you, which is what Mr. Porter keeps teasing us about, chasing after people who are running from you. Okay. Thanks.
And if Ms. Porter, if I can add one more thing, what we're trying to keep our mindset on is that, like you said, we're planting seed. And if we just get one
That's right.
seed to go to harvest, first of all, it's worth all of the financial investment. It's always good to invest in your business and into yourself anyway, but it makes all of that worthwhile. And we weren't really concentrating on the results right now. We were concentrating on getting the information out. We were concentrating on sowing the seed. And and the fact of the matter is also what we did too was we came back, we got on, there's a couple of apps that you can go on where you can get phone numbers. So we could follow up with a phone call just to let people know, did you receive the information? Mr. Porter said, you can send out CMAs to everybody, just about, and just let them know that this is, this is what's available. So the other thing I wanted to say too is when you're talking to people, you want to make sure that you get their information. You want to make sure, because I didn't do this at first. I was so busy trying to give out mine that I wasn't thinking enough about getting and capturing people's email. Sometimes people may not be, and this is what's funny to me, some people were not willing, necessarily very eager to give up their phone number, but they'll give out their email left, right, and sideways. So I wanted to make sure I captured some emails so I could put that in my constant contacts so I can be sending people things out. So that was just something that I really learned, that you definitely want to capture some type of information when you're talking to people. If they in touch, let them know. I'll be able to send you something. I'll keep you updated. Send you something periodically so you can keep updated with what's going on in this market. So that worked out for us.
Excellent. So that was great information, Kermon, and thank you so much for sharing. We are going to end on that note, guys. If anybody has any questions, you can let me know now. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and end and allow you guys to start implementing if you haven't already. All right? So next week, we're going to be talking about getting listings. So we're going to dive into that head first, and we're going to be unpacking it more and more as the weeks progress. So stay tuned for next Wednesday as well as next Thursday. If you need anything, just give us a call directly because it's 1:30 now. We want to honor your guys' time and we want to let you go. All right? So watch a video or two between this week and next. We have tons of videos from a lot of great information that we've been putting together for you guys over this COVID period. So we've been able to build a Porterhouse International video library for you guys. So go back and look at those videos, listen to that information, sharpen your skills. On a daily basis, you should be doing something to add to your real estate repertoire. You should be growing. You should be practicing scripts or listening to videos, something that's going to focus, hone, and sharpen your skills as a realtor, okay? Each one of us, you want to be excellent at what you do. And that's just one of the ways in order to do so. All right, guys? So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end on that note. You guys have been amazing as always. Thanks for joining us and carving out the time. I'm hearing feedback.
Oh,
Somebody
I'm sorry,
unmuted
that's me.
themselves.
Yeah, that was me. I was just doing that to say goodbye. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. You have a great rest of the day.
All right, take care, Mrs. Porter.
All right, guys, have an amazing day. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are so welcome. Have a great day.
Mrs. Porter,
Yes, Patty.
I have a question.
Okay, call me directly on my cell phone because I want to let everybody else go.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye.